What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Life is Cooler with AC. I'm your host, Alex Cunningham, and today we have a very good friend of mine all the way from Belton, Texas, right? Is that where you're from?
Well, I'm from Temple, but I do live in Belton.
That's the same fucking town. Jeremiah Red, guys. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. It was a long, strenuous journey. I actually thumbed it over here, so.
that makes sense. Do you drive?
I do.
Do you? Okay, because I was curious because every time we go do a mic or anything, you know, it's like, hey, who am I riding with? I was like, this motherfucker, he just walks everywhere. This poor guy doesn't even have a car.
Somebody asked me that. They're like, why don't you ever drive to the mics? I'm like, because I like to drink.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah, that's fitting. But speaking of drinking, shout out to Bob Paulson on Instagram. He recommended Knob Creek, and you said you've never had it, so
I don't think so. No.
Give that a go. Let's see what you think.
Yeah, let's see. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Thanks for coming.
That's pretty good.
It's good shit. This is 100 proof, and it is 12 o'clock on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So we are getting the weekend kicked off fucking early. This is the life of a comedian, guys. Because this is all that you do, right? You just straight comedy?
Pretty much, yeah. I do like photography gig on the side too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yesterday I did a gig with somebody. Trying to build my portfolio right now because I just kind of started right around the time I started comedy 6 months ago.
Okay, well, that's great. So I feel like that's a lot harder to get with pictures, right? Unless you're doing, like, porn pictures. Like, I feel like Hugh Hefner, his shit probably took off real quick.
I wish people would ask me to film their pornos.
Yeah. But how do you introduce that into the conversation? Hey, you want to take pictures of my family?
Yeah,
Only
exactly.
if you're fucking.
Yeah, that depends. Are you guys step cousins or first cousins? Is this Thanksgiving or Mardi Gras?
What state do you live in? You know, like, let's just start to get the general census of what the family dynamic is. Like, that's really how we start this survey.
And I feel like that would be an easier one because I feel like expectations for that would be a lot lower. Because, you know,
physically, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Expectations on the canvases, we'll call them, and then also just the overall quality and shoot stuff like that. Because some people, I mean, nothing against it, but, you know, photographers can be really, really expensive. And when people pay for these, like, family shoots and whatnot, like, they expect, like, you know, craziness or I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
What?
I just take pictures and fuck around with them with Adobe and like, hey, that looks good.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like, okay, this one's not blurry, you know, let's emphasize these colors. And like, see, I'm not artistic at all. You know, like you see my art wall, like I surround myself with art, but I'm not good at it. You know, it's kind of like comedy. I surround myself with it, but I'm not good at it. You know, so I feel like if you've got the artistic eye, you may not know what you're doing, you know, at the beginning, but you'll figure it out. You know, you'll play with it enough. It's like, you know, when you start diddling yourself, you don't know what you're doing, but you play with it enough. It all comes together.
Eventually, magic happens.
Right, exactly. You no longer think you have to pee. You're like, that's definitely not pee.
Or I guess like my photography, like you said, is just like masturbation where I'm like, I don't care if you don't like it. I enjoyed myself.
Right. My finger was clicking all fucking day. So at least I got something out of it.
Oh. When you gave the guy the shout out for the whiskey, I thought maybe he bought it for you. He's like the CEO of Knob Creek. I was like, cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe if the CEO of Knob Creek is watching right now. Hey. So what we do for shout outs, if you guys want to get a shout out, all you have to do is make a donation to the podcast, Life is Cooler with AC, on either Cash App at AC2 Productions or on Venmo at Life is Cooler. One of them has a money sign. I don't know. You guys know how the fuck it works.
Cash App.
Cash App's the money sign, right? And then Venmo is at Life is Cooler. Yeah, thank you.
Being unemployed for a long time, I got very familiar with the currency exchange apps.
I don't have real money per se, but I can send you electronic money.
What the fuck is a W-2?
I had a comedian. This you know, it's tax season, and they were like, hey, do you need me to send you any tax forms, you know, because you've had me on your shows? And I'm like, no.
No.
Yeah, like, I make like $4 a year. I don't. If the government wants 10% of that, I will give them 2 quarters.
Yeah, never knowingly invite the IRS into your shit. You do just enough to where you don't get audited.
Exactly. See, and that you have to think that way because Uncle Sam's already gonna fuck you one way or
100%.
another. You know, he doesn't care if there's pictures involved or not. Like,
Whether it's pictures or jokes, is like, I'm gonna get my fucking cut.
exactly. And you're just like, all right, well, if I can keep you out of my asshole for just a little bit longer,
or at least get you to spit on it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like at least prepare myself. You know, when you yank my pants down and fuck me, and like I didn't even have time to like loosen up. You know,
at least give me a couple of these first.
Exactly.
This is good though. It has like some nodes of 2 or 3 of these, and I'm gonna become a fucking problem.
Yes.
This shit is strong.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like a teenage girl. You know, like it smells good, but if you're around it too long, bad shit's gonna happen. Cut all that out.
Yeah, depending on which state you're in.
Yeah,
some people frown upon it. Some people are like, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, do it. I hope she's your cousin. We are in Texas. But so back to comedy. You said you've only been doing it for 6 months. That's crazy because so I was just on Jeremiah's podcast. I'm going to have you say it because I still can't figure out how to say the first word.
Basura Triangle. It's Basura. It's just Spanish for trash.
Yeah. But it's a good podcast. We had our episode ended up being what, like almost an hour and a half. No, it was almost 2 hours.
I think it was like hour 45.
Yeah, almost 2 hours.
We were just cutting up like a motherfucker. At some point, I was like, hey, guys, I got to pee. I'll be right back. You just keep going.
Yeah.
You and Gary were just on a tangent. I'm like, I'm not going to stop this, but I'm about to piss myself.
Right, yeah, for sure. Well, that's what's so nice is that, like, with comedy, it's you can talk about anything and everything and nothing all at once.
Oh, 100%.
You know? And I feel like as long as it's entertaining and engaging, I mean, like with this podcast here, like I've got some loyal fans, if you will, you know, so people who watch it every week, and it's really interesting because I never know what flavor they like, you know. It's like if I'm handing out, you know, hard candies to children, you know, like do you bring butterscotch? Do you bring cinnamon? Like I don't know because they all like something different.
As long as you get them in the van, bro.
Right, and that's the thing. So as long as you get them to click the stream button, it doesn't matter if they like it or not. You know, you've already got their view.
That's gonna be our analogy for getting shit done. Just get them in the van, bro.
That's your motto for life.
It doesn't matter how you do it, man. As long as you get them kids in the van, you're good to go.
They're like, wait, are there actually kids here? Like,
maybe
there could be.
Who's asking?
It's up to you. All you got to do is get them in the van, and it just comes full circle.
All art's metaphor, anyway. So
right, exactly. Well, I did a show last night. Do you know Charlie Mack?
Oh, so I've never met him personally, but I've seen him, you know, on Facebook, social medias, and I'm a fan of his stuff. I want to see him in person.
Yeah, well, he's super funny, but and he's all over the place. Like we'll try and get you guys on a show together. But I did his show last night in Austin, and afterward, I mean, you know a lot of my bits and stuff, and right. I did like my crone stuff, and afterward, a guy came up to me and he was like, "Hey, man, it was good, and it was like authentic, like you were telling real stories about you, you know." And it's like it's so weird because like the concept of not doing that is so strange to me.
Right.
You know, like, and I know that you tell a lot of, you know, like personal stories.
Oh yeah.
But and you do your hot takes, like, but those are still personal ideas, right? So do you ever like try and look at things from like let me just make up like a funny haha?
So like bits essentially.
Yeah, like what I call is like an actual like joke.
Yeah, I do some bits in there. They always formulate from something, so it's not like I just completely like pull something out of my ass. You know how like certain songwriters, they would clip out words and just start fucking putting them together?
Yep.
I don't do anything like that necessarily. It's always something that I saw, heard of, smelt.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And even
just
if
get them in the van.
Yeah, just as long as I get them in the van, bro. Even if it's just like a snippet, like I saw something, like that's point A, I saw something happen at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And then by the end of all this, it involves getting kids into a van.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
It's people say it's about the journey. I don't know. Maybe we should put more emphasis on the destination.
Yeah. No. And that makes sense for sure because you know, like it doesn't matter how you get there, right?
Right.
It's getting there, you know. And I say that all the time because comedy is I think I'm going to use the right word, perceptive, right? Is that the word where it's like you receive it how you feel or see it?
Yeah, that's in the neighborhood.
Yeah, guys, I'm illiterate. I don't know, so just fucking Google the word that I'm looking for. It starts with a P, but but it, like so what's funny to you may not be funny to me, and,
Right.
and vice versa, So it's we're just giving people things in the way that we see them. Like
exactly.
you said, it's art. So sometimes people you may not like any of these paintings, but I do. And that's what's so cool about jokes, because it's the same thing, but it's always about the destination, which is the laugh at the end.
Right. And what's nice about it, when things are going well, at least at shows or when you're watching a funny video or whatever, is when people are able to kind of check whatever biases or beliefs or whatever at the door and just be open-minded to laugh at something that's completely, maybe even unrelated.
Uh-huh.
Or something that, it's like, I don't think that way, but I see where that's funny.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find myself doing that quite often, not as the joke teller, but as the audience member, because I don't tell political jokes at all. Not interested, don't do it.
No,
But sometimes people will say something, and I'm like, it doesn't matter if it falls within, what I think or not. If it's funny, it's funny.
Exactly.
I don't care, make me laugh. That's at the end of the day. That, again, it's about the destination.
I don't mind hearing political material because I'm all for anybody shitting on our government. I don't care what branch. I think more people you should shit on, congressmen.
You're right.
I think presidents get too much attention.
I agree. Yeah, fuck that. You guys need to have your fucking terms limited, because this is getting pathetic.
Oh, 100%.
Honestly, fuck the podcast. Let's just stop Congress at this point.
Well, yeah, because Congress is dropping the ball here, and the internet might die as we know it.
Oh, really?
About that shit?
Oh, this is
Jesus.
how out of touch I am. I'm just so bad.
I found this on a Reddit thread, so bear with me on this.
It might be factual.
Well, there are facts in it. So the short end of it, without getting into way too much nuance, is the internet is regulated in such a way to where you can post whatever. That's why there's so many community guidelines, like on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, because they don't want you posting crazy shit.
Right.
But at the same time, you're kind of free to post whatever, because the law protects them from you. If you post crazy shit, they're not going to hold YouTube reliable.
Okay.
Even if it slips under the cracks of their, sometimes fascist community standards.
Right. Yeah.
But essentially, some American student was studying abroad. I don't know. She was in France in 2016 when all those terrorist attack happened at the same time.
Yep.
So her parents are in a lawsuit with Google, who owns YouTube, and their basis behind it is that it's YouTube's fault, essentially, because through their algorithm and stuff like that, one of the guys who made it out alive and he got arrested. Evidently, he was in pro ISIS videos, and obviously his algorithm is probably ISIS is great, because that's how the algorithm works, and that's what YouTube's trying to argue is if you don't go typing in ISIS is great, you won't see ISIS is great stuff.
Right, for sure.
So that kind of kills the argument. But there's been lawsuits before on that, because in the early days of the internet, there was only two companies you can go through. One of them, they didn't restrict anything. They're like, fuck it, dude. It's the internet. It's a new thing. Whatever you want. It's on
it's
there.
the new frontier.
Yeah, exactly. They got sued. They won because they said, well, we don't monitor it, so that's not ours. Sue the person who posted it.
Right, for sure.
The other company, they tried to restrict it, and they got sued by Jordan Belfort's company.
Okay.
Saxman and something else, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
Those bastards. His company sued that internet provider because one of the users on there was like, hey, Jordan Belfort and his company is scanning people out of millions. Y'all should pay attention. Sued him for defamation. Ended up winning against the company because their argument was, well, if you tried to moderate it, that means you knew it was there, so you're somewhat liable.
Okay, yeah.
So it wasn't until a few years later that the government put in an amendment to this whole thing to kind of make it into a gray area, but right now it's at the Supreme Court because Congress is like, we're old as fuck and we don't know how any of this works.
Right, yeah,
and
for
the
sure.
Supreme Court's like, this is kind of a you guys thing.
Right, yeah. We've never been on the internet. Mm-hmm. Like, what is a Facebook?
You mean to tell me I could find underage girls on there? Sign me up. Because our country is run by pedophiles.
Right, Wayfair.com. I can buy a shelf and it has a child in it. Yeah,
that's what
Google
I call
it.
Service.
Exactly.
Fuck getting them in the van, ship them in a shelf.
Why does this shelf? It's Asian colored. Like, I've never heard of. What does that mean? You've got white, black, Asian. Like, it's literally a bookshelf. I'm so confused. Why is it $5,000? But no, like, it is interesting, and like, I'm so stupid when it comes to the internet. Like, truly, I was never never interested in it.
Right.
You know, like, so I get pissed off whenever I like go to a new website and it's like, would you like cookies? And like, I don't see any Girl Scouts. And I'm like, I'm just so confused. Like, I had my van gassed up, you know, and I don't wear the cookies.
Those sashes make them super easy. Just
Right. Exactly. We're gonna get canceled 100% from this episode.
If the internet doesn't go down, maybe that's circling back to this nonsense, but it's not really nonsense. If some laws get changed and the government fucks up yet another thing, and it's not that I'm a big conspiracy whatever. I'm not anti-government either because I claim to be like an anarchist or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
It's more because if you just pay attention, they're grossly inefficient at most things.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, for sure.
So if this goes tits up, then it'll basically turn the internet into like a cable provider where the provider like YouTube, Facebook, whatever is going to be responsible for content. So instead of us being able to put things out like this, you're going to have to hope to get a job with Facebook or just post flyers and be like, hey, in a way, I mean, there is
so it'll be like back to the basics, though, for real.
Yeah, exactly. So in a way, it might actually, there could be a bright side of that is people are going to have more incentive to leave the house and go to a comedy show because they can't see our little reels and bits.
Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of interesting because I have really gotten into grunge here a lot lately.
Nice.
And so I was listening to a live Candlebox song, Far Behind, and
it's a good song.
It's a great song, and I didn't realize that it was written about the guy from Mother Love Bone, Andrew Wood, when he died. So he wrote this for him, and like, so he's telling this story, and he's like, I met Andy whenever I was out putting up flyers in Seattle, you know, like when you'd staple them to the telephone pole, and it would be so interesting if like that's what we had to do again. You know, just like print flyers. You'd meet other comics like, oh, what show are you doing? Oh, I'm on this show. Oh, this is who I am, you know, like, and then you really, because right now, like you said, you know Charlie from Facebook, you know him from all of the socials, but it's like, if we didn't have that anymore, we would be forced to go out and like, you would know if someone was funny at that point or not because you would have a real interaction. You wouldn't get their best of reels.
That's true, yeah.
You know, and it'd be a totally different ball game. That's
Sometimes
interesting.
my reels are like worst of, like,
right.
You see it? I edit them, like if somebody pulls away or they shake their head or something, I zoom in on them, like, yeah. Most of the room thought this was funny, but there was this person.
Yeah. Those are the best that like I put on my stuff. Like, so I did a show in LA a few years ago, and it was bad. You know, like the woman in the front row was just like, "Aw," and like that's all you could hear.
Oh my God.
And I was like, "All right, well, this is getting very uncomfortable." But like those ones are fun too, and people think like, "Oh, we don't want to see that because we don't want to see that you suck." It's like, but what you don't realize, we have to suck a lot before we can be good.
A whole lot.
Yeah, physically and metaphorically speaking, we have to suck a lot.
There's a lot of sucking. There's kids and comics in the van.
There's
Just depending on where it's parked.
And sometimes producers, we're like, how many cookies do I have to lick to get on your show? I've got plenty of Girl Scout cookies in here. What are they? The do's and don'ts or whatever those
the
fucking
Asians. I don't know. They got Samoans. Why don't they just branch out? Man?
Right? Would you like some Asian cookies?
Get the Ethiopian one. It's just a bag of crumbs. All right.
That'd be so fucked up. I wonder if they send Girl Scout cookies to Ethiopia.
That's a good question.
They're like, I don't know what nutrition tastes like.
I'm gonna say no because I don't think there's a way they can make money off of that.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if they expire, like why don't if they expire, fuck, like send them over. I mean, would eat them anyway.
I mean, sure.
Have you ever looked at the expiration date on a Girl Scout cookie box?
No, I have. I don't usually pay attention to expiration dates. I go by sight, smell, taste.
Yeah, which I mean is really the best. That's what I do with women. You know, you look good, you smell good, you taste like shit though.
Well, like with women, only a handful of states have to put the expiration date on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, most states actually don't have it. It's just like Texas is one of them.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. See, this is why I have you. Why I have all kinds of different people on the podcast because everybody knows random shit.
I know, right?
That I don't know, and I'm just like, how don't I know this stuff? I'm just stupid. But no, that's a good. Like, I'm one of those guys where like if my milk expires today, I'm gonna pour it out.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, milk, yeah, that's a tough one right there because if you get like a little chunk in there, yeah, I'm not a texture type person. Like texture doesn't really bother me, but stuff like that, no, I'm good.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. I don't want to get sick, like with having Crohn's disease, like you really have to monitor that stuff,
Yeah, I didn't
so
even
like
think about that.
yeah, if you get some, some spoiled milk in there and you're just like, well, I do like cottage cheese, but like I don't like to make it. I don't like to churn my own butter.
With you shitting a lot, I presume.
Yeah. Twice already this morning.
Do you have a bidet?
I did. I don't anymore. And everybody's like, "Oh, it's so good." Like my brother has one that like you can zoom it in and like aim it and lift it up and stuff.
Jesus.
But yeah, or the one that I had was like on a wand.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I feel like that was too much work. I got one from Walmart. It was like $20.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, you can't like zoom it in or heat it up or anything like that, but you can twist it either right or left, and then it just kind of changes the level. Only a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But I dig it, dude.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
But are you always wet afterward?
Well, a little bit, but here's the thing is that like you just, the time that I usually spend after I'm done shitting on fucking Facebook or TikTok or whatever, that time is spent doing a little drip dry. Yeah. And then now I just take the toilet paper and pad dry, good to go.
We'll see. Yeah. So maybe I'll check it out because like I know my last one, like I said, it was like I held it, it was on a stick, right. So I could really get up close. Yeah. I mean, it looked like a shower head if a shower head was a douche.
He said it was just like a condiment bottle, just
right.
give it a couple of squeezes.
One of the red ones, and like it should have had ketchup in it, so then that way I can't tell if I'm bleeding or not.
Yeah, there you go.
But like I don't. It might be a good thing. My brother, I know, he said like don't turn it to like full strength because it will wash your colon out. Like it will penetrate. Does yours do that?
It's got a good amount of water pressure in it, more than I expected. Yeah. I will say this though: room temperature water on your anus is like screaming cold.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So you'd have to have some sort of heating system.
I don't. I kind of got used to it.
Really?
I mean, it's only been like a week now.
Oh, okay. So it's new. So you just now finally have a fresh asshole.
Exactly.
Okay.
It took a while. See, I got a hairy ass and a hairy asshole, so I had to do something.
Yeah, for sure. Now, have you found your wife like peeing backwards on the toilet now?
No, she fucking hates the idea of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's in my bathroom, not hers.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. So on your podcast, we talked about how you guys shower in like different bathrooms.
Yep.
Like. That's strange. Like, does yours just like have piss all over the walls, and hers is just like it's got hair products all over the sink?
Listen, my shower is spotless unless you bring in a UV light. In that case, that's your fault. That's your fucking fault. Nobody told you to do that. That was on you.
Now you're trespassing.
Exactly. Hang on, you got a warrant for that shit?
Yeah, no, it's so my wife and I like we use different bathrooms, and like we've got the bathroom upstairs here that I generally don't ever use, and it's right next to her office, so she'll use that one. But then she usually uses the guest bath downstairs, but then I use our master because I've got the squatty potty in there. I can put my legs up.
How is that?
It's good. Like
I want to try that. I want to double down on all my
like you want to use mine?
Etiquette. I may.
No,
depending on how the coffee and whiskey sits.
Yeah, well, see, that's whiskey always makes my shit soft.
Yeah,
it makes it come out easy.
Oh yeah, especially if you had like too much of it the next day, dude. You're just like,
yeah, that whiskey rot gut, whatever they call it. Yeah,
and you could feel it in the morning too. Like usually hits me if I'm either having a coffee or the cigarette that comes after the coffee, or sometimes just the coffee. Like it depends, but like that's my morning routine, trying to work out some shit, literally.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, if it's gonna be like a dirty whiskey shotgun type blast, you feel it, man. You feel it going down.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, and I think like that's when it's good to have a bidet.
Oh yeah,
because you're like, there's too much shrapnel. Like I've literally like I've gotten off the toilet and been like, time to shower again.
I'm not saying I want diarrhea, but when diarrhea comes, I'll be very happy that I have the bidet because, when you have bad enough diarrhea, dude, you go through fucking half a roll.
Oh, absolutely.
Flushing 6, 7, 8 times before you're even remote. Even then, the last roll or the last square of the roll is a little spotty. You're like, I can live with that.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys where like I literally like my wife is like, how do you like your stuff you wipe a lot, and I'm like, yeah, because like I wipe the outside, I wipe the inside, I go circles, front, back, side, what like
you're a fucking DJ, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'll put my finger in my asshole to
spinning it.
Exactly. Like if there's anything on that fucking toilet paper, I'm getting another wipe in.
Same.
I'll do 2 to 3 until it's like 2 to 3 post mark.
Oh, okay. So you're going extreme with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it's like I want to make sure that I'm clean, because what if I accidentally fart and I'm like, oh, did I just shit myself? Let me go check. And I'm like, no, I didn't shit myself, but I think that I did because I didn't finish wiping good.
So I know you don't have a hairy ass because...
Oh, I do.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because the pictures that I've seen from you posting your ass on
Well,
social
it's
media,
the crack. So it's like not the...
That's what I was going to ask. When you spread apart...
Yeah, it's
pretty hairy.
Yeah, it's like you know how was it Moses who parted the Red Sea?
Mm-hmm.
So mine, it's like he took the Red Sea and like put it just right in my ass crack. But it was more like the Black Sea because it's all dark hair. Yeah, it's dark hair ass crack time.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because I was gonna ask, because some people are just like blessed with, I guess, just a smooth asshole.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you'll never in your life know what a dingleberry is, and I'm fucking envious.
Yeah, no, the only part that I don't have hair on is, you know how I tell my second asshole joke?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that's a real story. And so I've got this huge patch of scar tissue that no hair grows there. So I'm like, sometimes when I'm down there and I'm wiping, and like if I wipe that portion and it has shit on it, I'm like, all right, it's shower time. Mm-hmm. You know, like it should not be over here,
especially when you're dry and chafing, because then the toilet paper starts to flake off.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Well, what do you use, single or double ply?
Oh, dude, 2-ply all day.
Yeah, all day.
When I first got together, like when my wife first moved in before we got married, we were out. She went out shopping, brought back some single ply, and I was like, "Listen, we're gonna have to have a talk here."
Yep.
And she's like, "What's the difference?" Listen, I know you grew up poor. I did too. But we had to make do, all right? We will steal the 2-ply if we had to. This is unacceptable.
Yeah, no, this is necessity. Well, that's what I don't get about women who go single ply, because, like, you're wiping your pee off.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like, double ply gives you 2 layers of protection. Well, and, like, I know it's weird, but, like, my aunt, I know that, like, anytime that she would come visit my mom, my mom would always get mad and be like, don't use too much fucking toilet paper, because my aunt used to grab it and just around her hand until
damn.
Yeah, and like one wipe and throw it, and I'm like, what are you doing right now?
Okay, yeah, that's a waste.
Yeah, it's like, you know how many times I could have wiped my asshole with all of that? Like, you really, when you get married, guys, a big thing, a big question to ask is, what kind of toilet paper do you have? Mm-hmm. How many bowel movements do you have in a day? And do you think it is necessary to wipe post mark on toilet paper? Because those
are all very good questions.
Yeah, that will tell you, do you live with a dirty person? Do you live with a dumb person? Do you live with a poor person?
In a specific category.
Yeah. And those are just things that we have to know when we're choosing our companion for the rest of our lives.
Do they have a bidet? That's a good question too. I mean,
but see, I feel like that's a bonus,
fancy.
though.
Yeah.
But like
little cherry on top.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'd rather be surprised. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine like getting into a relationship and she's like, also, I want to do a threesome with my sister. You know, it's like, okay, we're already here.
Yeah.
You know, like this is
not
just
my incest. That's your incest.
Right. Exactly. You know, so it's like, that's a bonus. But if you go into it and you're like, can I fuck your sister? You know, like, then you sound like a weirdo. So you're like, do you have a bidet? And they're like, what? No, gross. So you could turn them off.
I'm leaving.
Right. Exactly. You know, you really got to watch your questions, you know, premarital status.
That's true. Or even like just pre-dating or pre-hooking up. I mean, if you're going to be bumping uglies, they might as well be sanitary, right?
Yeah, sometimes. You know, I mean, it depends upon, like, we're in 2023.
That's true.
You know, you don't know what you're getting. I mean, sometimes you get down there and there's a dick on it, you know? Like, you just, I don't know.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Like, so I do, like, I like pictures on Instagram, you know, like I'll go through like stand-up comedy and, you know, like Midwest and stuff like that, and I'll like pictures. And there was a picture the other day, and it was a girl, and it was like, oh, do you like what you see or something like that? And I was like, it was in like a bathing suit or something.
Right.
And I was like, poor girl, you know, like she's got no boobs or anything, you know, like, it's okay, you know, whatever. And then I read the rest of the description, and it says, from man to woman. And I was like, oh, all right, well, let me take that like back.
The old bait and switch.
Yeah. It's like, I'm really bad about reading everything. I read some of it and just assume what the rest of it says. And I was like, I probably should have finished that one.
You know, for all the guys who are like, man, if I ever took a lady home and she ended up having a Peter, I'd kill her. I wonder how many of those at that point would just be like, we're already here.
I don't know.
You got a butthole, right?
Yeah, like that. Like, would I kill somebody? Of course not. That's stupid.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's pretty retarded.
Yeah, but it's like if I was like making out with somebody and kissing on them and stuff, you know, and it's like then you get home and she pulls out a dick, I'd be upset.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd kill. I mean, I don't know. I might choke him. I'd be like, "Are you into this?" Oh, I couldn't hear the screams
you
to
start
stop.
choking, but then they get hard, and you're like, "Oh shit."
I knew they'd like it. Yeah, it'd be hard. Fuck.
Something would be hard.
Yeah, just get them into the van.
Just get them into the van. Like, you know what? I'll just get a BJ and be on my way.
I don't know. I don't know if it would work that way because then you would probably have to give a BJ back. Would you? Could you?
I feel like at that point, maybe you could just have an adult conversation. Be like, all right, listen, you done you done bamboozled me already. Can we cut the childish bullshit right now? We're going to have a talk about what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. And then go from there. You're
going to suck my dick, and I'm not going to look at yours the whole time.
Yep, we're just going to turn the lights off. You're going to give me a little of the, and then I'm going to leave.
I'm going to look at that G-string that you're wearing that doesn't fit because I can see a nut hanging out of it. And I'm going to picture that was just a long labia.
I'm going to see if I can poke your Adam's apple.
When I was in middle school, I had
a tranny.
No.
I'm kidding.
You need some more of that? Not yet.
No, not yet.
You need to hurry up on that.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
I had a teacher, and he was my shop teacher. He was super cool. And one time, he was like, yeah, I once had a girl tell me that I eat her like a woman. And I was like, what does that mean? And he's like, I go down on her so good that it's like a woman because a woman knows what a woman wants.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. You know, being 14, that was a weird conversation to have with somebody who's all gray already. But we're here now. We're
here now.
Yeah. But so if, metaphorically speaking, you hooked up with this dickled woman.
Do I think the BJ would be awesome? Probably.
And would you be upset, or would you just be like, I had the best blowjob of my life?
I guess it would depend on how many of these Knob Creeks that I have. You can pick them up at any liquor store, guys. Knob Creek, for when you take somebody home and they have the genitals you didn't expect, but you're like, you know what, I'm just here for a good time.
I'm here for a good time, not a long
Results
time.
may vary.
I got the best blowjob from Danielle last night.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you say, Danielle. Yeah, 100%.
There's a lot of yelling.
And for people who are ashamed about stuff like that, I mean, your homies are going to ask either way. They're going to be like, how did it go? And you can be like, well, she had a penis, so I left. Or, well, she had a penis, so I just got an amazing BJ.
Yeah, see, I think I would have to be...
Gotta have something to show for it.
Yeah, well, so I'm a big Guns N' Roses fan, and Steven Adler, the original drummer, I was reading Slash's autobiography at one point, and he was like, yeah, Steven used to walk through, like, West Hollywood and stuff, you know, and be like, sometimes there'd be a dude that would just be like, you want a blowjob? And he'd be like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Yeah, and I'm just like, I just don't think I couldn't. Like, I don't think, I know I could, like, I don't know. Just the thought of, like, wow, this 5 o'clock shadowed man, you know?
Well, assuming that they were, I'm going to say it anyway, decorated like a Christmas tree. No. Enough to where you're at the bar and you don't notice until a fucking penis comes out. Then I'm assuming they don't have any 5 o'clock shadows.
Yeah, and that's true, but it's just, that's one of those things. It's like, if you're in the middle of a bit, right? And it's bombing so hard, and do you just keep going till the end, or are you like, let's just see if we can get a laugh out of it?
So that depends on open mics. Lately, what I've been doing.
No, I mean like a show.
On a showcase, I stick to the script.
Really, you just
unless maybe like something pops up to where I can kind of hone in on that and maybe
just like deviate a little bit.
Deviate and then come back and pretend like we didn't do that part. But that's why with these open mics, I've gone up there like unscripted. Just kind of fucking winging it, so I can be better at on the spot and then pivoting and whatnot. So as of right now, you know, haven't been doing this terribly long, is stick to the script. But also, I don't know, with showcases, I've been fortunate. I haven't killed a showcase. I've done pretty well.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I've actually like killed one yet. But on the flip side, I don't think I've bombed one yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, it's coming.
Okay.
It's bound to happen eventually.
Well, see, so the reason I was asking because I wanted to see if you were bombing really hard and you were like, okay, I'm gonna just change gears. Then I would say if you got a woman home and she pulled out a dick, you would just shift gears and just leave. But the fact that you're like, I'm just gonna plow through it, like I'm just
literally.
Yeah. So that tells me
how clean's that butthole? You got a bidet at home?
What ply toilet paper do you use?
See, we were just talking about that, dude.
Yeah, see, I mean, I guess you're asking all the right questions.
It's all full circle. But one of my favorite bits from Louis C.K. is probably my favorite comedian ever. Is this is an old one too. He said, "Well, maybe I'm not sure, guys," and I'm gonna butcher it, of course. But he said something along the lines of like, maybe it's not that I don't like sucking dick. Maybe I just haven't seen the dick I'd be willing to suck.
Okay, yeah.
And then he would find the most uncomfortable person in the room, be like, maybe I'd see your dick. I'm like, you know what? I need that in my mouth.
Yeah. And then he pulls his dick out and starts jerking off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know the bit. I know.
So I often reference that when things like this come up in conversation. I'm like, maybe I just haven't seen the right dick.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Like, I've seen a lot of dicks, I mean, not like in person, but, like on.
My fucking DMs after this releases. Oh, boy.
Jeremiah Red, everybody. That's who you need to check out. And
it's going to have more salami than a deli.
Yeah. I hope you get the ones where they're just like, it's just like the slow rub.
Oh, God.
And it's just like.
Now, see, that's different. If I have the option to just like not watch it, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not committed to that bit.
I like how you had to confirm, like, if I have the option, I'm going to choose not to do it.
Yeah, because, well, you were talking about, like, if in the moment, if I was a single guy or whatever.
But what if it's the dick? What if that's the one? Are you going to watch him climax?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if that's the one, then,
yeah.
I might just be like, hey, what are you doing later?
Right. Yeah, I got to suck that dick tonight.
I got a bottle of Knob Creek. What's happening?
Exactly. I'm going to be so out of it. Well, a friend of mine, and he was a really, really close friend of mine. We just kind of grew apart, like when we both moved out of state and everything.
It happens.
But we're pretty sure he's gay, and like that's cool, whatever. But he's married to a woman now, which is cool. But he told me one time, he's like, yeah, I went to a glory hole. And I was like, oh, where'd you go? He said, I went to this guy's house. And I was like, all right, well, that's already confusing.
Yeah, I have questions, but continue.
And he said, and we were just sitting there, and he said, hey, if I were to pull out a sheet of plywood with a hole cut in it, would you let me suck your dick through it? And he was like, well, a hole's a hole, yeah. And I was like, Clifford, that's not a glory hole. You just got your dick sucked by one of your friends.
Yeah,
like,
Cliffy, buddy, what were the dimensions of the plywood? Was it just like from here down to the knees? You can still look down and see him?
Was it just 1 square foot? You had to hold it in front of you?
It was just playing from Ed, and Eddie.
Yeah, and then like he was like, well, at one point he said, would you mind if I turned around and you fucked me through the glory hole?
Oh boy.
And I think Cliff said no.
Well, yeah, I mean, half of safe sex is making sure you don't put your dick through some plywood in and out so you don't get splinters.
That's true, yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, so I was just like, Cliff, you're gay. And like that's cool.
Yeah,
like,
dude. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah, like that's like I'm not gonna think any less of you than I do at this moment right now. I promise.
Didn't matter if it was a hetero interaction when there's plywood involved, man. I'm judging a little bit.
Yeah, the fact that you sculpted or that you framed this story as I went to a glory hole and come to find out it was pre-negotiated. Like, that's not a glory hole.
Just send him the link to what glory hole actually means in Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
An anonymous person through the hole.
Yeah. Like, do you watch Always Sunny?
I do.
Where they're like, they find a glory hole in the bar, and
Yep.
they're like, just pretend it's a woman on the other side. And then when Frank, the dick comes through and he's like, I can't pretend that that's a woman. It's like, that's how I feel with this scenario.
Oh, dude, that's one of my favorite quotes ever because they're taping it up and Frank's like, why? And they said, well, it's kind of sharp. I want to be safe. And he's like, listen, if I was looking for safe, I wouldn't be putting my dick through a wall.
Yes.
Words to live by.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I feel like Always Sunny, Frank Reynolds is the guy that, like, he gives out the best advice.
Right.
I love the episode where he's like, I just want to be pure. And he shaves every hair off of his body and lathers up in hand sanitizer and crawls through the bar like a fucking a slug.
Yeah. When he came out of the couch like Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura.
Yep.
So it's just like, Jesus Christ.
Have you ever thought about doing any, because I know that you act and stuff like that. So have you ever thought about doing, like you do little skits? I know that, but they like put together like a whole 25-minute bit, you know, or clip. Have you thought about doing something like that, like writing a script or, you know?
Yeah, I've written out some stuff that I'm looking to film with some people. The couple of hang-ups is time, production value, etc.
Right.
And also attention span. Even if you look at not algorithms, fucking insights, analytics, whatever, most of your viewership is going to drop off after like between 30 seconds and a minute.
Yep, absolutely.
Because like Reels, TikTok, all that stuff has just fried people's attention span. So
yep. If it's not right now, they don't want it.
It's like, hurry up, get to the point. All right, let's keep her moving.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, there are some things, though. It's like you can't compress this to like a minute, minute 20. So if it's got to be longer for the sake of comedy, then I'll just fucking do it anyway, or whoever I'm doing it with will do it anyway. And if you stuck around through the whole thing, awesome. If not, cool. I mean, it's a click.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's what's interesting, though, about what we do. Because you were talking about Reels and stuff like that, and like we will post our shorts and like things that are under a minute, and they usually get pretty decent interaction, pretty good retention, because people will watch through, even if they don't like it, even if they don't hit the like button, whatever. I mean, I've literally had people hit the I don't like it button, but you stuck around through the whole thing,
right?
But whenever
that's YouTube, right? The don't like it button. I guess that'd be a downvote.
Yeah. Well,
okay, gotcha.
But which is weird because like they no longer show how many downvotes they have. Only you can see it, so that way you have to be sad alone. So, but with that stuff, I feel like it's different because you see so many like web series and like their TV shows. So like the attention span is still there. It's just they have to know that it's not going to be short.
Oh, 100%. And a lot of times people focus because, I mean, I guess we are selling ourselves as a brand. We're hoovering ourselves out, if you will.
Yeah.
And a lot of companies, the problem that they face is that they're so focused on enticing new customers in, they don't think about their current ones.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of have to give myself that check now because a lot of people that are following me already, I can see those metrics and whatnot. And I'm starting to figure out like who my recurring audience is, both live and on the interwebs.
Yeah.
And so most of them are millennials or Gen Z, who we don't really necessarily have a problem watching a 3 to 5 minute video.
Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, for them, you guys, I'll crank them out.
Yeah.
For the Gen Zers, I don't know, man. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. See, and that's
I'm
hard. Old. Well, because like millennials, and then you had Gen X, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Gen X, they're getting old now.
Yep.
They're in what their 50s. Oh, I know.
Yeah, Gen X is like 40s, 50s.
Yeah, because I just listened to Limp Bizkit, and he's like something about my generation and talking about Gen X, and I was like, all right, well, that's crazy because now he's got that dad bod song and stuff, and it's just it is weird because like throughout the generations, and we always talk about how like there's trends, there's with technology, it's all changing, so it's hard to keep up and you're like, what do these guys want, what do these guys want, and what do these guys want, because you've even got your boomers now who they are online. Like I can't say that they're doing I don't know if they're watching the TikToks and stuff like that, but they are online. So you can, if you can reach them, you can advertise to them. But what do they want? How do you find that out? That's such a strange idea.
I don't know. I guess you could put Reels on Fox News or CNN or NPR. Like if a boomer's on the internet, like I imagine that this is going to be news related.
Yeah, and that's like honestly, that probably is accurate. Like I know that there's a lot of people that I'll see like they'll be like, oh, well, I read so and so on the internet. Like Facebook is going to start charging next month.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, for the love of God.
Or the copy paste, like, my name is so-and-so, and I don't give Facebook the right to start blah, blah, blah. You already did when you signed up, bozo.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what it's always the same people, and you're like, all right,
Yeah.
I can see what generation you're
You're
from.
like, all right, Uncle John, like, we get it, dude.
Yeah, you don't want
the election was
Facebook.
stolen, whatever.
We don't want Facebook stealing our data. Like, you're giving it for free. They don't have to steal it.
Yeah,
you know?
no, yeah, you volunteer it.
Yeah, you've literally told us where you've worked for the last 50 years, what school you graduated from, what your hometown is, and who you're married to. We know who you are.
And gave us permission to like dig through all your apps and all that shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Honestly, I've said this before. If I wasn't doing comedy, entertainment, all that stuff,
Uh-huh.
I probably wouldn't be on social media. Because me as a consumer, I know this sounds ironic, and because I want people to watch my shit. Me as a consumer, I'm not a huge fan of it, honestly.
Yeah.
But I keep up with it because I kind of have to.
Uh-huh.
But prior to getting into this, I had a Facebook page that I would check once, maybe twice a day.
Okay.
Mostly I would post and go, so I'd share a meme, haha, and then log out or creep through Reddit. Stalking, as they call it, when you don't post anything, you just look.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was about it. I really wasn't too active on doing the stuff. But it is what it is. We got to do what we got to do for the people. Our people.
See, and I feel the same way because like it's always a thought, right? Because we don't know if this will ever pay off.
That's true. Yeah.
We have no idea.
No clue.
we do it because we love it. We don't make money off of it. We don't none of it. So. We do it for the love of the art. And I and my wife included, we have talked about how like if it wasn't for what I was doing, we would not be on the internet, just because like
right.
I would be working on my car, like I would be writing stories. I would be doing things that like I don't need instant gratification. I love going out in nature and hiking and just being outside and watching. I feed the birds and just like I love doing all of that shit. That like I don't need the world watching me. If I'm not trying to do comedy, if I'm not trying to make this my career, I don't need that.
No, 100%. Like every once in a while, like you said, you just got to take in the scenic view of your neighbor chain smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
With his sliding glass door open and coughing so fucking hard that your windows are rattling. For context, it's very far away.
Yeah, it's probably half of a lot, but we can hear him every day, and the guy has a problem. So I think I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put need help to stop smoking,
mm-hmm.
and with the number on it, I'm gonna put that on his car window.
I feel like he's way past that point. Yeah,
but.
No.
But honestly though, like with social media, it's just it's so hard anymore. And if like I hope like what we were talking about earlier, if they shut it, I hope that happens because like it would just be so great. Like we were talking about just last night we were in Austin. Our car got towed, and
fuck.
Yeah, and it was a pain in the ass, whatever. But like. I have thought several times about posting on social media, not about the situation, but just being like, just so you guys know, social media, like Maggie Mayfield, go check her out. Maggie Mayfield always says social media is fake, right? Because to every good post that we make, there's 20 negative.
You always see the peaks and not the valleys.
Exactly.
Or unless you have that one friend who's always dramatic and depressing, it's always the valleys and never the peaks.
Right. Yes. And that's we were talking about. And because my wife was like, "Well, what about those people?" I was like, "They don't have successes because they're too busy worrying about what the fuck went wrong."
Exactly.
But we constantly base our lives off of other people. We look at our valleys and compare it to other people's peaks.
I'm sadder than you piece of shit.
Right.
My life is so much worse.
Exactly. And it probably is. You sound like you have a miserable existence.
Yeah, I just I don't unfriend those people, but I unfollow them. So
Yeah.
I don't have to see that.
Yeah, because the negativity, it brings you down. But it's the same because too much positivity for other people, you start to compare your life to it.
Yeah.
And you're like, well,
I'm a piece of shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Why am I not doing this? Why are people not paying for my pictures? Why are people not listening to my jokes? Why am I not, trending?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it can be very deflating.
Oh, 100%. And you got to take a lot of that into context, right? And I feel like my view on social media is not bad because I'm not constantly looking at it. Like after I post something, I don't sit and wait for the first wave of clicks or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Like if I post something, I'll usually just like, all right, I'll check up on that like an hour.
Right.
Somebody comments, I'll shoot them back a comment or whatever. There was another point I was getting to on that.
Knob Creek got in his way.
Knob Creek, dude.
he
Not
couldn't
even
wade through the creek.
I'm swimming in it, baby. I'm going fucking skinny dipping in it.
Yeah, finish it. Let's get some more.
Well, comparison is a thief of joy. Oh, yes, context. Like you said, like for people who are like, oh, well, why am I not trending? Why am I not da-da-da-da-da? It almost never happens as immediately as you think that it would.
Right.
An example of this is Trevor Wallace.
Uh-huh.
The first video that I saw of him, it was like, okay, I was under the presumption because I didn't really dig too much into it.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, it looked like he was an internet funny guy who made it big, and then he started doing stand-up. No, he'd been doing stand-up for years, putting his time in.
Okay.
He was doing the funny stuff on the internet because he liked to do it, and that's another way to get noticed, and that's how he got noticed. But it wasn't what I thought it was. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't really matter who the person is. Like, most of the time, like, this is kind of a duality of a depressing statistic, but also a nice one, is most like the rags to riches stories are bullshit too. Because most actors or musicians, they come from a very wealthy background, so they have the money to fund the grind.
Yep.
And or they're related to somebody in the business.
Yep.
Like
for
pretty
sure.
much everybody.
Yeah, no, and that's what's so difficult. Like, so if I find somebody that I like, I'll always Google them, and I'll be like, where are they from? It's like Nicolas Cage is a Coppola.
No shit.
Yes.
Did not know that.
Yeah, that's his uncle. So
he's still great. I love him.
And that's fine, but to pretend like you just came from nothing,
right?
Like, come on now, like you're talking about one of the biggest producers in Hollywood.
That's why I can't get down with Drake, dude.
Right? Yeah, started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah, dude, come on. Yeah. You had money. You got segued into Degrassi, and then you're rapping about struggle and gang shit. I'm like, nah, dude.
Exactly. Like it's my wife. Like, we'll talk about how like growing up and stuff. And like I think that you just heard my jokes last week or on Wednesday.
Yeah, on Wednesday.
About how like we grew up. Like I was stealing my mom's car because she was high on meth. And like that was like our life. Like, I would go out and rake leaves and mow grass to have fucking money to go buy my little brother fucking food, And it's like, I was a little kid, but I had to make these conscious decisions because we had no food in the house.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is a real struggle. But I feel like you can always see the authenticity of the struggle.
Yeah. My first time that I had to drive a car solo, I didn't have my license or learner's permit or nothing, was because there was no food in the house. And me and my little brother wanted to eat. My mom was at the cancer treatment center in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and my grandmother was passed out drunk. So what the fuck was I going to do? I just had to, I waited till like nighttime because, back when the stores were open 24/7.
Right.
So I waited till about 10:30 where I knew there wasn't going to be any traffic. And I was like, all right, I'm driving to fucking HEB.
Yeah, for sure. But that's character building. We talk all the time about the fight or flight. Like, and it's interesting, and my wife is downstairs; she can hear everything we're saying. But she's definitely got the flight, right? Like, she hears something loud, she jumps. She something is just out of the ordinary, and it scares her. Where it's like, if something happens, like I don't ever jump. Like, we used to go through haunted houses, and people would try and jump scare me, and and they're just like, you're not even into it. And it's like, you just be more creative.
I grew up in a haunted house, you fuck.
Yeah, exactly. My life was scary enough. Whatever you're doing is not working.
Dude, one of my oldest best friends, he was the best man at my wedding. He used to joke around when he'd come over. He'd be like, dude, it's like Halloween every night at your house.
Just because there's so many dead bodies that you had? Or
practically.
Why are they all kids?
Yeah, exactly. Let's go get in the van. Don't even pull us in the van. Let's go get it. It's got to be better than, because the house I grew up in, man, there was a lot of shit going down there.
Yeah.
I talked about it a little bit when I was on What Happens When I Die with Janie V.
Yep.
But it's probably the whole reason I'm in therapy and all this anxious, blah, 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 sad shit.
Yeah.
But to that note, one of the things I learned about myself is it's hard for me to sit still because my shrink was like, dude, the way you grew up, like your baseline chilling level is at a 6.
Right, for sure.
And I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yep. Yeah, and so I listened to that episode. Shout out to Janie.
Great podcast.
Go check out his episode on Life is Cooler, or go check out, go check out their podcast, What Happens When I Die. And it's so good, especially to watch my episode. But go watch Jeremiah's, and it is very good. And so when you were talking or talking on the podcast, you brought up, like how you found out that your mom had passed away, and like how there was a hard line where you were like, I'm done, and it's interesting, and it's almost humorous to me because I had the same experience. Like the night that my mom killed herself, I found drugs in her car, and I'm so anti. I don't smoke weed. I don't,
Right.
I'm very anti-drug.
This is a drug technically, right?
It is, but I don't drink it and get drunk.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So like that's the.
I don't know if you keep going, dude. It's gonna happen.
You're gonna do it.
I'm already feeling a little buzz from this, dude.
But so like we drink at Corky's and stuff, and like but like I rode my motorcycle home the other night. I don't drink.
It's not the goal.
Right.
You don't drink to get fucked up. You drink because like you like the taste of whiskey or beer and stuff like that.
Exactly. But I know when to stop.
Yeah.
So when I found out that my mom was doing drugs and stuff, I told her, I was like, I found drugs in her car, and I was like, I'm taking this to the state cop that lives across the street from us. Like, I'm fucking done.
Because I know he likes to smoke it. So.
Yeah, he's black, so he likes it. All right. So what I meant was, Philly, if you're watching, but so I was just like I decided this is it. And she just happened to decide this is definitely it that night,
right.
But there comes a time in that, in the traumas, if you will, that you have to be like, I'm done with it. Like it's not worth the mental stress, the physical stress that I feel, like it's too draining on me.
Oh, 100%. Because, you had your own life to live, as did I. Because, like, when I separated contact with my mother, I was 22, 23, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've spent my whole life like cleaning up after this whole household full of people. Like I was done with it. There were some funny moments that came out of it, though.
Of course, yeah.
I remember my grandmother. She used to get fucking wasted. Everybody in my house did except for me. And she would go into the bathroom, and then there was it was like an L shape. So she'd hook the right, sit down on the toilet, right. And when you were sitting on the toilet, like right here in front of you, perpendicular was the shower and whatnot. You had the faucet head over here.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how many. It was probably like 4, 5, 6 times that she had to go to the fucking emergency room to get stitches because she would sit up to pull her pants up from pissing, and she was so drunk she'd fall forward.
Oh,
fucking
shit.
bang her dome on the faucet. So you know what we ended up doing because we couldn't get her to stop drinking. Obviously, we just fucking found an extra mattress and put it in the fucking shower.
Yeah.
So she just fell on that. We'd have to go scoop her ass up because she couldn't get out of it. But hey, she wasn't fucking cracking her head open anymore.
Yeah, for sure. And and that's what's so great about comedy, right? Is that's a traumatic situation, and it
right.
truly is. Like definitely don't think that I'm downplaying that because it is traumatic.
Right.
But you can laugh at it.
Oh, 100%.
Because it's funny. Just like the time when I went to open the Slim Jim box, the little cylinder of Slim Jims, and I was like, I fucking love Slim Jims. We have nothing in the house. Syringes.
Jesus.
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, that's why fucking Jim is so slim. He's on the meth diet. It's like you have to find the funny.
Plunge into a Slim Jim.
Yes, exactly. You literally have to find that because if not, the shit will eat you up.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
And there's just life is so hard that for everybody,
But
again,
life is cooler with AC.
Life is cooler with AC. So you guys,
I love fucking clever wordplay. So when I first heard that, I was like, ah.
Well, I'm gonna try and start branding. Make America cool again.
Ooh.
And then obviously with AC.
Yeah.
But
Maca action.
Yeah, exactly. So but we're doing full circle. That's what so the logo here is a circle. It's because all we do here is full.
We just
circles.
go in fucking circles.
Yeah. So like our jokes literally are written from our valleys, and then we express them at the peaks.
Yep.
And so we. Like I was talking to a guy last night, and you have to bring light to the dark shit because we all deal with it, and to tell people like it's okay, we've all been there, and it's okay to laugh at it because you're gonna
100%.
get better. Like I feel like that is honestly the gift of being the jester.
Dude, everybody you know is gonna die. Get used to laughing at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I was gonna give any advice,
yeah, no, for sure. My dog just died, and my best friend, shout out to little Kato. He so I told jokes about him.
Pour a little out for the homie.
Exactly, I will too. And so, like, you have to learn to laugh at the pain, and that's why I love Kevin Hart's special, Laugh at My Pain.
Yep.
Because that is what we do. We laugh at the pain.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like, don't feel bad for me if it like. And I had to tell a lady this because we were talking about like weird reactions when you go into dark bits. You remember that set we did at Corky's when you were hosting, and that was my first set at Corky's.
The showcase, yeah.
Yeah, the showcase.
Yep,
sorry,
yep.
Should have been more specific.
No, you're good.
It's at Knob Creek, baby.
Getting loose.
So I had my 10 minutes already prepared, and we had the attention of those people, that huge, like, what was it, like 24 people total?
Yeah, they thought we were going to do karaoke.
Yeah. Well, according to Mel, that might have been a joke, but I don't know. Either way, they were in their own little world celebrating their accomplishments, and it was kind of hard to keep their attention.
Yeah.
But I had their attention because I started going into that deep, dark shit, and I stopped a couple of times, like, you guys can laugh about this. You know that? Like, it's my catharsis. I'm like, laugh it up, chuckle it up.
When you don't laugh, it makes me feel worse.
Yeah, but some lady in the front row just looked at me and she just said, and I was like, be that way, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It's like, guys, I got another 7 minutes, so.
Yeah, so buckle up.
Yeah, buckle up, man.
Yeah. That's my, if you go to my Instagram, my bio is, please use your seatbelt. It's a bumpy ride.
Nice.
You know, and like,
because
like that's literally like life is a bumpy ride, So like if you're not strapped in, like you're gonna fucking fall out because this shit's wild.
Yeah, dude. Or your fucking head's gonna hit the ceiling from the turbulence and you come back down and then break your butthole and wish you had a bidet. But
you're like, God damn that one ply. So we're at about our hour, which is where we like to be
really
for
retention.
Mental
time.
Well, my computer just shut off. So,
so that's how you know.
Yeah, so it tells me that I'm at just at an hour. So we're gonna do a question.
All right.
And I know you know the question, like you know how it works. You've watched all of them. I do know how it works.
That's true.
So this question is, how many dimples are on a golf ball? That's an interesting question.
At least 7.
At least, yeah.
At least 7.
Yeah. See, that's a good way to answer. That's. So, like, when you guys hooked up, I know, because you guys got together kind of young.
Yeah.
So when she was like, how many girls have you slept with? Where you're like, at least 2.
I don't recall if we ever even had that conversation. Well, let me backtrack. We did, but I don't think it was brought up like that. Like, yo, how many bodies you got?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She was just super casual about it?
Yeah, I mean, she didn't care. I didn't really care either, so.
Well, that's great. I was one of those guys where I'm like, fucking tell me. You tell me. I gotta know.
I gotta know.
Yeah. Do I have the biggest, the smallest, the prettiest? Like, is Jeremiah gonna suck my dick today? Is it gonna be the best dick?
Depends on where the Knob Creek takes us.
Well, I've been trying to get you to get more, but you know the.
All right.
I gave you a hefty pour. You want here? I'll let you pour your second one.
All right, here we go.
But do you golf at all? Like, are you a sporty guy?
Sporty, I mean, not really, but I've been golfing before. When I worked at my old job, we'd go golfing semi-regularly.
Okay.
That's the thing to do when you make a lot of money.
Yeah? You made a lot of money at your last job?
I did.
I thought you worked at McDonald's.
Dude, you can make money at McDonald's.
I was a manager. I was a shift lead.
I was a manager, and, I was selling shit out the back. It's whatever. Things fall off the truck. You make good money.
Right. Mainly children fell off the back of our trucks.
No, that was in the van. We forget the latches, and we hit a speed bump, and it's a whole thing.
There goes all the cookies. One of my favorite bits, and it's not even a bit, it's from a movie. Have you ever seen Without a Paddle with Matthew Lillard?
Oh, of course.
Where he's like, were you a Boy Scout? No, but I ate a brownie once.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of
what the fuck?
That's one of the funniest fucking things. Because it's like, at first, like, when I first watched the movie, I was like, you ate a brownie. That doesn't make you a Boy Scout. But then I'm like, oh, brownie is like, that's the first, like, level of Girl Scoutism. Yeah. And I'm like, all right. Like, at what age did you eat a brownie?
That's a well-educated joke right there.
Exactly. Yeah. And you have to be well-versed in girls, and I don't mean women. I mean girls, like doings, like.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I was like, what a great joke. Like, that's got to be inaccurate.
It's like, it's like a 300 IQ joke.
Yeah.
If anything, all right, so if I go into real dark humor in a set and people don't like it, that's whatever. if I say some dumb fucking corny cheesy bits, people don't laugh at it. That's whatever. But for some reason, nothing hurts me more than when I have something that's super well thought out. And like I said, it's one of those like 200 plus IQ jokes. Say it, and everybody's just like, I'm like, okay, was it not funny or do you not get it?
Yeah.
So
Are
I
you
wait
stupid?
a second. I'm like, yeah.
Am I retarded or are you retarded?
I've had to dumb down my not the material itself, but the intricacies of it, and even my vernacular just a little bit.
Yeah.
I got the whiskey burps, bro.
Hey.
Or is this bourbon? Bourbon burps?
It's bourbon.
Bourbon burp sounds better anyway.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, we'll let you guys go. We're going to go talk fucking bourbon. And thank you guys so much for checking this out. And Jeremiah Red, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude.
Shout out your Instagram and your TikTok and
yeah, you can search me at, well, Jeremiah Red. As far as I know, there's not too many of us running around, but anything with the name Basura Triangle, that's Basura Triangle, spelled in English. That's easy enough. You'll find me, and sometimes you'll see Gary, but that's fine. You'll get over it.
Fuck Gary. We didn't say that yet. Go fuck yourself, Gary. But thank you guys. So I'm going to put all of his links at the bottom. Definitely go check him out. Super funny, and he's coming up on the scene. He's doing phenomenal. We've had him on some shows. We're going to get him on some more shows. He's really taken off, and I'm proud of all the work that he's doing. So go check him out. Thank you guys so much for checking us out today. This is Life is Cooler with AC. I'm Alex Cunningham. Thanks, guys.